What's going on, guys? So I'm gonna get started on the fuel pump replacement. So first thing I'm gonna do is disconnect the negative from the battery and take off this little valve right here that releases the fuel pressure in the line. So I'll do that. After you have this off, you're gonna want to go ahead and press this little Schrader valve. Make sure all the fuel's out. I don't have any in there right now, so. And that's the problem. That's the reason I'm replacing the fuel pump, is because it's got a hard start, and the hard start is because the fuel pump has a piece in it that like basically primes it when the vehicle's accessories is turned on, and it's not working, so I have to constantly crank it over to get it started. But yeah, I'm gonna disconnect the negative and then I'll get back to it. Alright, after doing that, now we're under the Jeep and we're going to go ahead and disconnect the electrical connection. So to do that, you need to pop this. There's a pin right here, you need to pop that out and then you'll be able to undo that. So I'll go ahead and use this flathead to get this outwards, and then I'll pull that off and show you guys what to do next. Alright, got that off. Mine is pretty gunked up with a lot of mud and whatnot, so after getting the red pin right there popped out, I just had to kind of pull on a little bit, but those came off not too hard. Next step is to disconnect the this is the vent hose. Here's a little like piece right here, you just need to pull it out, and then we're going to, after that I'll show you the next step, which is disconnecting the fuel pressure line. So for here, all you gotta do is just kind of, I'd take some pliers and just take this and go back and forth to loosen it up, and then disconnect this, and then we'll get to the next step after that. Got the vent line off. That was actually super easy, just didn't have to use pliers, just wiggled it back and forth, and that came right off. Now we're going to take the fuel pressure line off. There's a tab right here you need to push in, and then same with the other side. So you're going to push in both sides and just wiggle it loose. It might be easier to undo it from this little clip right here. It's up to you. I'll see what works out for me and let you know, but I'll go ahead and do that. Alright, took me about a good 10 minutes, but I finally got that off. Mine is just totally gunked up with mud and whatnot, so if it's not cooperating with you, just give it some time and it should just come loose. But yeah, so the next step would be to take some penetrating oil and get these all lubed up. Mine's got tons of dirt on it. But yeah, I do that to both sides, and then we're going to drop the tank a little bit. Alright, so now we have the straps loosened up enough to be able to slide them up and over this piece, so you need to do that to both sides, obviously. So this side here took me forever. Actually, they both did, but I had to use a good mixture of some WD-40 and some brake clean. These nuts are really hard to turn, so that was honestly the most time consuming part so far, and I'm sure it will stay that way. But so yeah, off to the next step. Alright, so next step now would be to remove the fuel line hoses. So what you gotta do is this side right here is a 7mm. I just use a ratchet for that one, and it was actually turned up more so you could barely reach it. I was able to just twist it down so I could get a better access point. I'm pretty sure it's the same for this one right here, but I will figure that out here in a second and let you guys know. Mine's facing just about straight up, so I'm gonna have to probably take some pliers to it and twist it so I can get access to it. Alright, so both of these lines right here needed a 7mm socket, so that was pretty easy to get off. I didn't have enough room to just pull it off of the gas tank from there, so there's a plate that goes right here. I can show you. There's a plate that covers these up right there. It's just this plate, and you just take that off. It's four screws that are 10mm sockets. That way you can expose these and pull on it from this side to get it off. It wasn't too hard. So after I did that, just got in the Jeep, undid the straps, and now she's out. Alright, so next step is definitely to you want to clean everything around here. Make sure that's really clean, that way you get no dirt in there. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you guys the next step. Alright, so I kind of cleaned off the tank a little bit as best I could. Now we're gonna go ahead and take the this lockdown piece right here, take that out. So we're basically just gonna take a screwdriver and a little hammer and just pound it out this way. And then once it's loose enough, you should be able to use your hands to just unscrew it. So yeah, we'll do that right now. Alright, well, got that out. After I undid this piece, it was just pulled straight up. Just be careful about, well, actually you probably don't even need to be careful about it because it's probably broken anyways. So yeah, I pull it up after that, and then there's going to be some gas inside here. You can either try to dump it in there or just dump it out. I don't know if you, yeah, you can see that. There's my filter down there, so probably why the fuel pump doesn't run too well either. Just an idea, but yeah, so there's that. Now let's just take this piece off, just like that. You're gonna need this hose right here. So you're just gonna, it's basically the same thing as we did early in the beginning. So you just pinch the two sides right here and pull that right off. Just be careful with it, and then yeah, I'll show you. Alright, got that fuel line hose off. Now, so there's this little piece right here. Mine's blue. So I don't know what color, I'm pretty sure they're all the same color, but anyways, you're gonna want to carefully take that off. You can see that there's this little piece right here that you have to get it past, so I just slowly and carefully got all over that, and now I can just slide it right off like that. So yeah, go ahead and do that, and then next step is get the next fuel pump. So now what you're gonna do is take out the old gasket right there and put the new one in. Just being careful not to get any dirt in there. Just press that down pretty tight. Just make sure it's all the way on. Now we're gonna throw the new pump in there. So just, you can throw this on right now or do it when it's already in, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there, and you want this facing, you know, the front of the vehicle. So yep. Alright, so now the new pump's in there. You have to so this pump, it actually had like a spring system on it, so when you put it in, you had to kind of push it down a little bit to make sure it was all the way in. But yeah, so once that's in, just make sure it's all the way down everywhere, and then go ahead and, if you haven't already, go ahead and put this clip from the old pump back onto here, which is for the old line. So now, if you have it, you could go ahead and clean this up a little bit. I'm just going to rinse it with some water, and then I'll get back to it. Alright, so now the pump's in, and this cap is on. I just tightened it up with my hands as much as I could, and then I hit it this way with a hammer and a flathead for a little while, just to make sure it's locked in, and then I tried hitting it the other way, and it's pretty hard to hit out, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. So yeah, next part is to get it back into the Jeep. So I'm gonna get going on that. Real quick before we put the tank in, you're gonna need to put this guy back on. This is when you took the old pump out, it would have been on there. So basically, you just align it to this blue quick connect. Just push it on like so. Locks into place, and yeah, it's definitely on. So yeah, there you go. yeah, now we're getting it back in. Basically just gonna slide it over, put one strap around obviously and just get it into place, and then do the other side, and then tighten it back up. Before you do that, before you tighten the straps in, you're gonna want to put these back on, tighten those up as good as you can, and then same with those over there. So yeah, I will right now I'm gonna put the tank in and put those back on. So next step coming up quick. Alright, so finally got the two straps hooked up. Now if you did like I did and just undid the nuts far enough to get the straps to be undone, and you end up only being able to get one strap back on, which is what happened to me. So I've actually been here a good hour trying to get this on. You know, so I couldn't get this in, so I was just like sitting there trying to figure out how to loosen this bolt or nut up a little bit so I can get that to go up higher. So if you did that, basically all you do is undo the other side of the strap. It's super simple, and just stick this back up in there. So basically the strap isn't connected, it's just connected on this side, and then just loosen the nut up as much as you can just to get it back up there. These had a ton of Loctite on them, so it's super hard for me to wrench those out. But yeah, so I also went along and hooked up these. This is the fuel line, hook that back up. Also right here is the what do you call that, whatever, it's like the air, forgot what it's called, sorry. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put some waterproof dielectric stuff in there to make that waterproof, and gonna connect that to that, and then basically just I'm gonna put this piece right up into there. It slides onto this, and then I'm basically done with that. Then I just gotta go ahead and tighten those up, make sure those are in all the way, and tighten them up, and then yeah, I'll get to the next step. Alright, so I now have the straps tightened all the way. This piece, that's the it protects the tank from the exhaust heat, but mine was already broken off, so I'm just gonna leave that bolt there. I don't really need it to be tightened anyways. Other side's good also. Hook this up really easy, just put that in and then push this side through to lock it in place. And just make sure that's sitting where it's supposed to be. Also make sure that you put the fuel lines back into place, the vent into place. There's also a spot to put it in place right there too if mine popped out there, so I just put that back. Next step would be to put back this little cover for the hoses. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Alright, got everything hooked up, everything put back on. It's all good to go now. We just got to try it out. I did already hook up the battery, so all that is good. Alright, let's see how it works. Alright, well, looks like it did its job. Beforehand I was having a hard start and I had to turn over the ignition for a good, 3 seconds for a good 3 times until it would finally start. So finally fixed that. Seems like the engine runs a lot better too. Good thing I did that. I actually found out, as you saw in the video, the old fuel pump lost its filter, so cost me $200 and worked out pretty good. If you guys have any questions or comments or whatever, feel free to ask in the comments. Even anything about the Jeep build, tires, wheels, side steps, flares, bumper, whatever you want, just let me know. Alright, thanks guys. Subscribe and like the video.